Hello friends, this is Cara-Renee with B.Reborn Art and Healing, coming to you with another tutorial. This time I'm going to do a video on how I use my clay molds. So I just received this one, I just ordered it from Amazon, and I love all of these designs because I think they'd be perfect for putting on covers or putting even in a journal, depending on how bulky you allow your journals to get, but they certainly could be used on the spine. I mean, can you see these going down the spine? Or, I mean, any number of these on the corners, like it's amazing. So I've got this one, and then I also pulled out a couple of other molds that I thought I would try to do some leaves because I'm working on the adventure journal, as I've mentioned before, and I'm thinking that I want to do some kind of a three-dimensional mixed media kind of cover on it. I'm not sure yet, but I thought I'd go ahead and get the molds ready, and if I want to use them, I can. This one is very tricky, so I'm going to try it on camera and see how it goes. I did it I had a video, I think a year ago or so, that had amazing views on it. People really enjoyed the video, and I tried this one, and it was tough to get it out. So I'm going to be trying to do that on camera with you guys. And I like these leaves that are kind of like curling and kind of they fell down, because that's kind of the vibe that I'm feeling about this journal. So we've got those, but I want our focal project is going to be this little the medallion. I don't know what it's called, but I'll be sure to link it in the video description. And I will also come back, and I had a viewer ask me where I got the girl for the winter garden journal, and I told her, I looked and looked and looked online. I told her I couldn't find it. Well, it's because I was looking for the wrong maker. So I'll go back to those comments and let her know that this is actually a Finnabar mold, so from Prima Marketing, Finnabar. So that's the little winter maiden girl. That's what I call her. So but look at these little intricate flowers. Aren't those just wonderful? So that being said, I did have some other clay. I have the what's it called? I think it's PAS is the name of the clay. I don't have it in front of me right now, but I pulled it out and tried to do this a week or so ago, and it did not go well. The clay was really wet. I couldn't get it to stay in the mold, and I couldn't get it out of the mold. So I went back to, this is the one I like the most. It's called Creative Paper Clay. And I highly recommend this one. So I got this from Amazon. It came in a 2-pack, each being 8 ounces, which is awesome that they did this, because if you don't use this clay for a while, it will dry out. So when I'm done with this today, it's already in a bag right now. I just now opened it and was playing around. I actually put it in 3 bags. So when I'm done with it, it will go in this bag, and this bag. So just to make sure it stays nice and fresh and usable. So that being said, I tried it out because I didn't want to just flub up over on the video. But look at those. Aren't those just amazing? And let me see if I can show you the profile. So the profile is different on each design. So this is the first one that I did. And so you can see it's got a very low profile. So I think this would totally work in a journal. So I have that one. This one's a little bit thicker because it's more of a domed piece. I don't know if you guys can see that. See how it's more domed? So that might be a little bit more challenging. And I think they don't get very heavy. They don't get heavy when they dry. So, and then look at this one. This is so awesome. Look at that. Sorry, focus. And so look. Not very thick at all. And so you can paint them, you could just antique them. I mean, the possibilities are endless, seriously. So these are the 4 that I did, and this is another just delightful one. I mean, can you see this going down the spine of a journal? That gives me a great idea. I might want to do this down the spine of the adventure journal. We will see. That will be tricky because I'd have to put my signatures into the journal, cover the spine, cover the signature strings on the outside, so that I had a place to put these that was unaffected by the strings. But you can probably see here, see how there's a little bit of not sharp, it's not sharp right there, but you can come in with a little nail file when this is completely dry and you can kind of shave that off. So that is those are the ones that I did. So let me grab, I need another piece of parchment. I forgot to do that. I like to work on the parchment just so I don't get it all over my desk. So I'm going to just set this all here and hope and pray that I can stay on camera. It's a work night. Going into a long weekend though, thankfully. So I thought we would give this a try. So again, this is the paper clay. I will provide the link over on my blog in the supply list. The link to the blog will be in the description box. I do apologize. I know that that's a nuisance, but I can't do this with a Band-Aid on. So I have to, I'm doing really, really well. The rest of them look really good, but for some reason that one doesn't look great. So probably a little bit of too much information for my viewers, but you know me, I'm just real. So I'm going to just do the ones that I have not already done. So I'm going to start here. This one's going to be tricky because look at how intricate that is. And I find that it's better if I do one at a time. So that does make it take more time, or maybe do opposite ends because they're still hard to get out of the mold. So I'm going to just try a couple things and see. And not hard as in they're stuck, but you only get so much flexibility. So you turn this over and then you have to be able to peel that back. And so it's not that it's stuck in there as much as it is that it's just, you have to kind of roll it out. I did pull this out. I think I'll try this. This is just my little powder, that you use if you're going to do embossing. So I'm just going to use it and see. I can't really tell if anything's coming out of it. I can smell it, so maybe it is. I'm just going to put that in there and see if it makes a difference. I'll see if I can do 2 of them. How about that? So you don't need much to fill that space. In fact, that's probably a little bit too much. So, and you don't want to mess with it too much because you don't want it to get too soft. Otherwise it will be, I'm not going to do that one. See, part of the problem and my struggle with this, because I'm not very experienced at it, is that I do get too much and then it goes over into the other mold and then I'm trying to figure out which is which. And I like to press it down with my hand, with my palm, and then I pull the clay away from me. So see how I'm doing that? I'm pulling it away from me and then just taking those bits off, getting them out of my way, and then just pulling. And you can also pull towards yourself, like so. Sometimes it helps to have a little bit of something on your finger. I think in the past I have tried a little bit of water. I don't actually have any handy right now, so I'm not going to do that. But so once you have the excess off, I'm going to move this a little bit closer, guys. Pardon me. Once you have the excess off, then you're going to work at, I just kind of go in a circular motion and then just try to kind of find those edges. And then you'll be able to kind of start to see what is the mold and what is the overhang, if that makes any sense. So I'm just kind of doing that. So we had some excess there. So, and when you do this for yourself, you're just going to really have to play with because when it's like anything else, when you do it the first time with your own hands, it's much different than watching it being done. So practice and have grace for yourself, because it's hard to do and it's tricky when it's the first time. So I guess that's what I'm trying to say. So it gets easier over time. I haven't done this for a year other than trying it a couple weeks ago when I was wanting to do that. But so in this case, because this is the lower left hand corner, I'm going to kind of tip it this way and see if I can pop it out easily. So another thing, the center of it is soft. So I don't know if you can see how it bends there. So it is soft. There is some ability to pry it a little bit. So I'm just gonna, this makes it hard for you to see, but it's the only way I can really get it out. So can you see that it's starting to lift there? And it's starting to lift there, so it's just, I'm wiggling it back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, like so. And I'm just going to work my way down until I have more of it not touching the mold than touching it. So let's see how this other side is looking. I apologize for the angle. This one doesn't look to be very thick, so that's why it's sticking up there, which is actually good because it means a lower profile for what we're using them for. So I'm just going to try to pop it out really, really gently. You want to have very gentle fingers so you don't mess up the design. So there we go. Look at that. Oh my goodness. That turned out really good. Wow. Okay, so I'm going to set that over there. You're going to hear a lot of oohing and awing because this is an amazing mold. I love it. So let's see. How about we do this one? This one's pretty cool too. So I'm just taking, I don't know if you guys can see that, like in proximity to like my fingertip, how big of a ball I am kind of taking out of the bit. And I'm just putting it in the center and I'm just pressing it down. And that was probably perfect amount because I don't have too much overhang. When you're putting it in a journal, the lower the profile, the better. And you do want to get this, pretty smooth because otherwise it'll be hard to glue in and have it be stable on whatever base you're putting it on. So as level as you can make it. This one's pretty darn square, so it should be pretty simple. Like so. Yeah, that one was easy peasy. Easy peasy. So let's go ahead and pop her out. Yep, super easy. Look at that. So we do have a little bit more of an excess here. If you want to, I don't know if you guys can see that, we've got a rough edge. So I'm just going to smooth it with my finger while this is still pliable and just kind of form it a little bit before it dries. Again, my motto is perfection is not in play here. So if that's not perfect, it is okay. I do also like to try to, so you can see on this that this one's kind of, I don't know if you guys can see it, but the ends are kind of sticking up. So I'm going to try to control that a little bit because again, it's going to dry in whatever form it is in right now. So when you put it down on your paper towel or whatever you set it to dry in, which it doesn't matter, you can totally dry it on a paper towel. You want to make sure that it's laying as flat as possible because again, that's how it's going to dry. So there we go. So let's do, we did that one. So let's do this one. That's a little bit, I'm just going to go with this. And the little itty bits, I don't usually put back in the clay because unless it's a bigger chunk, I just kind of don't incorporate it back in because I don't want to transfer oils from my hands and stuff into the main clump of clay. But if you're really trying to be frugal with your supplies, you can certainly put it back in. I don't worry about that too much. Okay, so I'm just smoothing it out right now. And then I'm gonna, obviously we don't have a defined shape there, right? So I'm gonna use my thumb and I'm gonna start pulling that away. And I'm gonna use my finger. Whatever part of your hand works best for you, is most comfortable, is what's important. So now I'm gonna again do that circular motion and I'm gonna kind of pull it towards itself. And then if I feel like I'm pulling it away from the mold, I'm going to go back because we don't want that to happen. And it kind of tells you where the edges truly are. I also like to get a good look at the mold before I put the clay in so that I can kind of get a general idea of the shape that I'm looking at under the clay because it can be hard. There we go. So I am going to pop this one out and then I'm going to do some more, but I'm going to just speed it up and put some music on for you because again, it's the same process. And I don't want to keep you forever and a day because we do want to move on to the other pieces. So sorry that that's so hard for you guys to see. But isn't that just beautiful? Look at that. It's so lovely. I can't believe I didn't have this mold. I have a lot of molds. Really, really enjoy them. So, going to turn on some music for you guys, and you guys can just sit back and watch. So as you can see, some of them are thicker, so they may not be the best for a journal, but look at the profile on that one. Whoops, sorry. Really, really small. So use your best judgment. Okay, more. Okay, I think we're going to go ahead and move on. You saw the basic process. So I did, let's see, I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I did 10 of them, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 12. There's 18 on here. So I did not by any means do them all. So, but I'm going to set this aside. I'm going to quickly wipe it out a little bit, just so that this doesn't dry, because I'm not going to be able to get it in water right away, because I'm going to continue with you all here. It's not probably a really big deal. It's going to dry, and then you can just flick it out of there. So I'm just going to set it over there. So just got my baby wipe. I'm going to move the camera back up. That's a little bit too close for what we're going to do next. So let's get the other mold over here. So we're going to try the hard one first. So that's this one here. I'm going to turn it upside down just so that it's upside down to me, so that I can get to this part here. So we obviously need a bigger piece of clay, but you have to kind of go in pieces, if I remember correctly. I don't know if I want to go for this one on camera. It's nerve-wracking, you guys. It's hard to get out of the mold. I remember that very much. I'm going to go ahead and try it. You guys said you love the imperfection, so I'm just going to start with the stem here and just try to get it down in there first, and just get it really, really pushed in there as best I can, because that's the stabilizing piece. So that's what's going to hold the whole thing together. There's probably a better way to do this, but I honestly don't know. With this mold, it is tricky, but it is gorgeous when you get it out. Let's see. I think I used it on something. I can't remember what. On some project. So I'm not going to wipe too much off right now, because we still need to fill in all the leaves as well. So I'm just going to start filling in the leaves. You do want to really concentrate on the connecting parts. So right here, make sure you get more clay than you need, because that's what's going to keep your stem and your leaves connected. So I hope that's making sense, you guys. Maybe my fingers will make more sense than my mouth. I don't know. I think I had trouble with this because I didn't focus on those connecting parts. So I'm going to take a little bit more time to do that. Let's get a little bit more up here and here. I've got probably way too much, but I don't want to fail on this one. It's hard. Did I say it's hard? It is very hard. So again, I'm just gonna press and then just gonna pull some of that excess away so I can use it elsewhere. And also on the clay, you do want to make sure you're following manufacturer's suggestions for where to store it and how to store it, because you don't want it to be in a place that's too cold and you don't want it to be in a place that's too warm. So, because as with a lot of things, you can change the what's the word I'm looking for? The makeup, that's not the word, its original form. You can change its original form by doing certain things, and so you want to be mindful of that. You change it's going to come to me. You know it will. When I least expect it. So that looks to be pretty well filled in. I'm feeling good about that. So I'm just going to again rub my finger all over, get it nice and smooth, and I'm going to start pulling away. Same process as the little medallions, but this one's trickier because there's just more holes and stuff that you have to uncover so that you're getting the true design. So I'm just gonna use my thumb now, try to pull that away, like so. And these molds, I get them from scrapbook.com. I do get some from Amazon, but when I started buying them, I got them from scrapbook.com. But they're a little bit spendy, but they're a fantastic investment if you can swing it, because you can use them over and over. You make your own embellishments basically, and I've done a lot of art with clay in my journey. So this clay is nice and fresh. I'm really enjoying that. This is much easier than the last time I used this mold. I just made a divot there. I can feel that it's softer, it's more pliable, it's not dry, it's just right. This is how it should work. So I'm pulling some more away because I've got too much sitting there on the top. I'm glad I tried it, you guys. Thanks for cheering me on. I heard you. I heard you. I'm not crazy, I promise. Just a girl being real. Trying to have fun. Been kind of weird today, like just feel off, and I realized that if I go a day without crafting, I just get into a different headspace. And last night, it was a work night. It was Thursday night, or Wednesday night rather, and we went to my daughter's for her boyfriend's birthday. And we don't go out during the week. And weeknights, we come home from work and we have our routines, and we like our routines. And so I realized I didn't get to craft yesterday because I didn't even come home from work because I had errands to run before I went there. And so I just was gone and didn't get any downtime, and it was a beautiful celebration. I wouldn't change it for anything, but it's just funny how we get into our routines and things can get off if we don't do our normal normal things. So, and then I came home today. I'm preparing for a very special person to come to my house. And so I came home from work today and cleaned, and then I tried to lay down in the early evening, but I needed to create. So here I am creating with you all. So I think that is the design. Does it look like I got it all? This is part of the other flower. So if you can see, let me just hold it up really close so you can see. So you see how flat it is and how it is actually meeting up really well with the edges. I'm pretty happy with that. It's not going to be perfect. It's very intricate. So I'm trying to think about which way I should try to get it out of the mold because it is hard. So I think I'm going to try this way and try from this top and see how we do. Maybe this clay will be perfect and it won't be a problem. So that leaf is coming out okay, and that stem and that leaf. Can you see that? See how it's pulling away? You do not want to pull it though. Let it work its way out. And as you move down it, use use one of your fingers to kind of push that pliable part of the mold out. So you don't have to loosen every bit. Once you get more out of the mold or detached from being attached, then it's going to pop out. So I'm just using my finger. You can't see it, but I'm pressing behind here in those soft parts of the mold. And I told you this is tricky. I think it's because it's so big. It's just a really big mold. So come on, come on, come on, leafy. Come on, leafy bit. We want you out of there. Come on. Kind of like a baby being born, right? Not really. Not really. Oh, come on. Come on, leafy. We can do it. I want you out. Come out and play. Oh, there we go. We're making some progress. Goodness, that's just really stuck. So patience is a virtue, as they say, and it is in this process too. So I'm going to break my own rules, and I'm going to try to pull it a little bit, see what happens, because I have to get something started here. I should have maybe put the powder in here. So what happens though is it gets so soft that this is where the spine, or that not the spine, the stem will break. So we may win here, we may not. So we will learn. You either win or you learn, right? Isn't that what they say? Oh my goodness, it's really not coming out there. Come on, come on. Do you think it helps when I talk to it? I don't know. I probably should have used the powder though. Come on. Just going to use my finger really gently and see if I can pull that out. I'm just coaxing it a little bit. I know you guys can't see that very well, and I apologize for the angle. But try again. So if you do this and it doesn't work, please don't give up. It's worth trying again. The results are fantastic. You'll be doing a happy dance. Come on. Ah, that one's weak. I can feel it. It's weak on the stem. It's gonna come out though. We're gonna have a beautiful stalk of leaves here if I don't break it. Come on. Come on. Come out. Come out. There's probably people out there that do this all the time and they're like, oh my goodness, what a Fruit Loop. But you know, I committed to show you guys the raw footage. Basically, this is the raw footage. I don't know if this is going to work, but we're going to find out together, because that's how we learn, right? I say that over and over. We don't learn from winning all the time. We learn from trying and from failing and trying again. And we learn from having joy in the process. That's the most important part. Make fun of yourself. That's what it takes. Not in a mean way, but take yourself lightly. We're almost there. I'm so excited. I don't want to turn it because I don't want to lose that last little bit. We're on the very end here. So I'm trying to be gentle. I'm not trying to hurt you, leafy stalk. Yes! Okay, there we go. Look at that. I can't lift it up because it's too fragile, but it is perfect. It is absolutely perfect. So we have some bits in here that aren't supposed to be a part of that. I don't have anything right here to fix that. I don't think. Let me see if my pokey tool. Let me see if my pokey tool will help. Because if you can clean some of this up while it's wet, you're going to be better off. So there's a bit here that I can see that should not be like that. Not that anybody, again, is going to be examining that, but if you can fix it, go ahead and fix it to make it look a little bit less wrong. Because once it's dried, you're not going to be able to get anything in there. But again, nobody's going to be looking at it and going, oh man, oh, there's a little imperfection there, right? So there you go. There you go. Oh my goodness. So we're going to do one more because I want to do some of these falling leaves that should be easier. So I'm hoping that you guys can still see because I'm getting a little bit off the screen here because I've got this taking up and I don't want to shift it. I don't want to, well, I guess I can move it a little bit. See how soft it is? It's bending as I do that. Those two are connected. I think they're supposed to be. Let's look at the mold. So this is the mold up against, oh, sorry, you guys can't see. Goodness gracious. Great balls of fire. There we go. So you can see here that these two are meant to be connected, and they are connected. These are connected, and they are connected. So it molded really, really well. Whew, so glad. So now we're going to do some of these little leaves because I think I would like them to be on something. I don't know if I'll use it for the adventure journal or not, but let's just see what we can do. I'm loving this clay though, my goodness. I've never had this easy of a time with molds. This is really, really nice. So there we go. Let's pop that one out. Pretty easy peasy, right? Ah, look at that. Look at that. So awesome. It's, again, it's a little bit imperfect, but so are we, right? I know I certainly am. I'm tossing this because it's getting too old and too soft and too warm. So it's a little bit in the trash, but again, if you're concerned about that, you know, maybe put it in another bag separate from the main block of clay and let it get set again and then try it again. You can totally do that. So let's do this one too. And as you can see, I didn't really have to use the powder. I think that it could have helped that one though, a powder. This powder might not be the right kind. I have other powder, I just don't have it right here with me in the studio, so I might try that next time though. I like to sit down and do a bunch of these all at once because then I have them in my stash, so I can just pull from them like I did the winter garden journal. So I wanted to make new molds when I did that cover, but my clay wouldn't work, and then I looked through the stuff I'd made previously and I'm like, I already have stuff that'll work. So I was able to just pull out of that, and so there again, I'm using what I have and I'm not wasting, and it was perfect. So let's try to get this one a little bit cleaner than that last one. So I'm going to let you watch for a few minutes and then we will be done. I'm going to just set this to music. Okay, this is the last one that we're gonna do. And I'm gonna go ahead and say good night to you all. I have no idea when this is going to actually air. Just trying to stay ahead of the curveball on my videos, just in case I have a week where I don't really feel like creating, or I'm not having an easy go at it. Then I can still be bringing you guys stuff and not worry about it. So let's pop this one out and then we will say goodnight. It's not quite ready here. Okay, we're having trouble here. We broke. Let's just layer down and repair. I must not have had enough there to stabilize that connection, which is okay. I think we can fix it. Maybe. Or maybe this will be our one that just didn't work, you know? It's okay. Here we go. So I don't know if you can see what happened there. This came apart. It's supposed to be connected right there, but that should not be a problem. I am going to clean it up just a little bit there because I don't want that to look so raggedy. I mean, this is nature though, right? It's not going to be perfect. Nothing in nature is perfect. So there we go. So I'm just going to bring everything back into view and show you a close-up. Hopefully you guys can see everything that's here. Let me bring these over. Just poked my nail in one. This one. Let me see if I can move the big mama over here. I want to keep her straight though so she dries decently. There we go. And then here's the one we just did. And then here's our little medallion ones and our little leaves. So we've got 3 little leaves here, which I think turned out really, really nice. And then all of our little medallions. So thank you guys so much for joining me here. I'm messy, but it is the fun kind of messy. So, and this comes off your hands really easy. It's air dry. What is it? A natural white color, shape, let it air dry hard and paint. So it's an air dry clay, I believe is technically what it's called. So everything comes off. It doesn't stain anything. It's a little bit messy, but not horrible. So thank you guys so much. Take care. Bye-bye.